morning, everybody. I know it's Friday and it's a weekly wrap-up video, but I had to show you our newest additions. Danny finally did it. She gave us two beautiful bucklings, just like I knew it would be. But this guy is an exact replica of his daddy. So he's actually black with a white spot on his head. And he's got the little La Mancha ears. And get right, Mom. Good girl. And this little guy is he's a little on the weak side, but he's gonna be like a cream color with La Mancha ears. Mama's doing great, isn't that right, Danny? Danny.
Happy Friday, everybody. So as you can see at the beginning of this video, we had some excitement this morning. Danny finally had her babies. She has two little bucklings. One is that very light cream color that I knew she would have. The second one is actually black, jet black. He has a little white spot on his forehead, one little white spot on his side, and a tiny little drip of white on his chin. He is basically copy and pasted, identical to his father. So they're really, really cute. I think we've settled on the name Snow and Storm because they were born right in after a snowstorm. So really, really cute little guys. And we're happy. They're happy. They're healthy. Snow is a little bit on the weak and flimsy side, but he is a massive kid. So we gave him some Jumpstart that has selenium and copper and stuff, all the things he needs to really get going. And he nursed, and now he's starting to get up and move around. He's just got some flimsy joints right now, but there's no reason to think that that's not going to heal up rapidly. So everybody's doing good. All right, let's get on to today's current event, shall we? Let me have a sip of tea. Oh, that's nice on a nice cold day. So this is Bengal spice tea. It's got like cardamom and cinnamon and all kinds of good stuff in it. So it's really warming and delicious. Anyways, it's been kind of a quiet week, but also kind of, a lot going on at the same time. We'll start out with Trump's cabinet has started their confirmation hearings this week, and we have seen quite a few of them go. Sorry about that. I had a brain fart for a second. Pete Hegseth was the first one, and he was drilled, and they were very disrespectful to him, but he did have a couple good zingers in there. So like, it was really cool to kind of see him hand it to him. And, some of the Senate committee that's doing these hearings are extremely uneducated, and it shows, and it's pretty embarrassing, when they talk about requirements for women in the military, which, many of you may know that I was in the Army Reserves for a very brief period of time. I didn't even make it to basic, and I was honorably discharged. That's a long story, but regardless, going to drills, women had a different set of standards as to what we were expected to be able to accomplish compared to men. And it's just really, really crazy that some of these people don't realize that. And it's also, as a strong, tough chick in the sticks here, one that doesn't like to be told I can't do a lot of things, I'm going to stand here and tell you that I agree with him 1000% that I don't believe women have a place on the front line. You can come for me if you want to. That's my personal opinion. If you're out on the front line and your partner gets shot and you need to carry them back to safety, I really don't think that all 5'3" of me is going to be able to hoof up some 6'4" dude and carry him God knows how far to get some help. Know your limitations. Don't just do something because you are told you can't do it and now you have to do it. That makes no sense, because then how would you live with yourself if you let your partner down and he died and there was something that could have been done, like an actual man being there that could have carried him back? I could go on and on about this. The whole feminist movement in this country kind of disgusts me. And that, again, comes from me, who you see out here, extremely capable, extremely strong for my size, extremely independent, but even I know that toxic masculinity is extremely needed. Anyways, we can go down that rabbit hole another day. We all know how I feel about that. But today, Kristi Noem will go into the hearing. I'm really excited about her. I do. I really like her. I really respect that woman. I think the world of her. We also have some people next week. We have Doug Collins, and Brooke Rollins is going to be in the agricultural department. She'll head that if she gets confirmed. And so that'll be really interesting. I really would like to get more details on that one. Some people that have not confirmed dates yet are the ones that we really want to see. We really want to see Tulsi Gabbard. I'm extraordinarily excited about her. She's another woman in politics that I think the world of. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will be next. Well, we don't have a date for him yet. And Linda McMahon, Kash Patel, and there's a few others as well. So these are some big ticket names that don't have dates yet for their hearings, their confirmation hearings. So, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But I do believe, if I understand it correctly, they would have to lose a Republican vote to not be confirmed. And if you're a Republican right now and you side with Democrats, I think that's an immediate, political death wish is basically what I'm getting at. I think that your time would be very numbered. And, you know, we see this in local politics as well. I think there's a new age in politics that's really emerging where we see, like, you know, if you have somebody that you voted in that's a Republican candidate, right? And they promise a lot of things, and then maybe they have it in their best interest to do those things that they want to do, and maybe they really do have a good heart or whatever. Maybe they're just trying to appease both sides of the table, and you can't do that. You have to pick the hill you want to die on, and you kind of got to stick with it, or else people are going to call bullshit and out you go. So I really think that there probably shouldn't be a problem getting these people confirmed, but I guess we're going to wait and find out. Some of these hearings that yet don't have dates are going to be real zingers, I think. And it's going to be very interesting to see. But I do think Pete Hegseth did a great job. I think he was very well composed. I think they should have left his personal life out of it, because let's be honest, we can bring up any number of those people in the current government and current administration that's on their way out the door. We could pick up any one of their private lives, and I'm sure there's a lot of skeletons in those closets, right? So, you know, I guess maybe we'll find out when certain lists are released, which hopefully happens very, very soon. And brings me to the next thought. Monday. Monday's the big day, right? Monday is Inauguration Day. We are rapidly approaching at this point, and I'm nervous happy. I'm going to admit to you, I don't think that I can sit here and say confidently that I don't think anything bad will happen and it's just going to be smooth sailing. And more today than before, but ever since Donald Trump has been elected, I've had this growing concern just in the back of my mind. I think probably because I was at the Butler rally, and I'm nervous that things will not go off without a hitch. So I'm just really gonna be on the edge of my seat until it's done. There, I understand, are gonna be tons of protests, and people are entitled to protest. I hope it remains peaceful. I know that, you know, they're gonna use January 6th as they did this, and so we're gonna do this. Even though we all know that January 6th was made up, basically. The actors that did the acting were mostly hired, bought, and paid for, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I wasn't there. But I think that's pretty much the general consensus for the majority of the population. And we are just gonna have to wait and abide our time here and see how it all pans out. I'm very excited for the first couple weeks of this new administration. I do hope that all the lists are released. And speaking of released, Donald Trump did it. He's not even president yet officially, and the hostages that Hamas has are agreed on being released. So that's really, really exciting. you know, there is peace in power and true power when people are actually, you know, respectful and afraid of your leader. Good things can happen and peaceful times are ahead, I believe. I do believe he'll get this whole Russia-Ukraine thing nipped in the butt, and all the other conflicts are going to come to a screeching halt, I think, I hope. And so, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I'm really happy that the hostages are going to be released. I don't know if there's a date on that yet, but I know it's been agreed upon. So I guess we just have to wait and see on that as well. Some other things, I guess, that have happened this week. There's still, you know, the wildfires out in LA. I think they finally got a handle on those. I think some of those prevailing winds that were coming in have finally stopped. There's widespread destruction out there, guys. It is super sad to see. And I know a lot of those people are celebrities, and that might have been their second, third, fourth, I don't know how many houses that they might have had. But there's also a lot of people just like you and I out there. There's a group of inner city cowboys out there called the Compton Cowboys. I have followed them for years, being, you know, I was a tack maker. I had a lot of rodeo background, not so much as like entering rodeos. We have entered rodeos, but I'm not big time into that. But I'm very familiar with the rodeo scene and have always followed the Compton Cowboys because I think they're a fantastic organization. They did a lot in helping rescue horses out there. You know, you wouldn't think that there's horses in LA, but there's city stables actually in that city, and they did a lot to help rescue those, and I say kudos to them. But there are a lot of average people, maybe above average to my standards. You know, they have a lot more money, but I think they're just average people that live there too. And for them, I feel very bad. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about them making it into a 15-minute city. And while I think probably a lot of people that live out in LA might be happy with that decision, I think a lot of people out there are obviously extremely into the whole climate change bit and the whole Green New Deal and whatnot. So they would probably be happy as a lark if they turned it into a 15-minute city. But I do find it hard to believe that the celebrities would be on board with that, because a lot of them had big mansions out there, right, that burned to the ground. And I don't really think they're going to just be like, yeah, you can turn my property into an apartment complex for somebody else. I'm cool with that. I don't know if there's a lot of money being handed around. I don't know what the deal is. I find that relatively hard to believe that they would just be cool with that. I really don't think they want to live in an apartment complex or have one for their beachfront property. So just a lot of things that make you go, There's a lot of things flying around as to the cause of these fires. I did see an actual intelligent breakdown. Meet Kevin on here is a really good channel that I've watched. He does stocks and real estate and stuff like that, but he lives in California. He actually ran for governor at one point. And he had a breakdown where there had been, I think it was a week or maybe a few days before this Pacific Palisades fire burst out, there was, and he actually had like satellite imagery of this. There was a fire that broke out right outside of the town, and it was like somebody was camping or whatever. No, they set off fireworks. Somebody went out into the woods and set off fireworks, and it caused a brush fire. And they extinguished the brush fire. But what they did was they left all the dry brush still there around where this, they call it a fire scar, I guess, if you will. And they left all this brush there, and they should have burnt it or mowed it or something to get rid of it. But what they did is they left it. And when the prevailing winds came in, it could have very easily reignited. You know how fires are, they can stay an ember underneath. Well, the LA Fire Department put out this brush fire, left all the rest of the brush there, and then never went back to check on it. So it's a very good possibility that these fires could have just stemmed from that. I don't think we will ever know exactly what the cause is, but I think we know for certain that the mayor, the fire chief, the governor have all failed miserably. And it is my opinion that they should resign. And if they don't resign, they ought to be fired immediately. I know you can't fire the governor, but he should really resign. He's not going to. And if people still think that he's going to run for president in 2028, I just don't know about that. And this might have been the nail in that man's coffin, as far as I'm concerned. But I hope that they can get it cleaned up. I think that they'll probably have a lot of fundraisers and probably be able to do a lot better than our friends down in the Appalachian region that is still suffering immensely. And my thoughts are with them right now because we're going into a week of an Arctic blast coming in from Canada. It's going to affect much of the country. And, you know, if you guys are in one of the areas that was devastated by Helene, please go to Patera's channel, Appalachia's Homestead with Patera. She has been talking the last couple videos she posted. She gives contact information. So if you're down there and you need heaters, if you need propane, whatever you need to get through this next week, go to her channel, check it out. If you know people that are affected and need help, go to her channel, find out who this contact information is. That way we can, you know, try to get through this next cold spell without any more loss or devastation. It is going to get extremely cold for most of us. We're looking at below 0, and that's Fahrenheit. Not sure what the calculations are there in Celsius, but it is going to get very frigid. For us here on the farm, it's not so much of a big deal. We've been minus 27 with the wind chill before here, and you know, you just warm, you break buckets more often during the day, and, you know, just make sure everybody has hay in front of them that they can eat. Your eyelashes might catch a couple icicles, but otherwise it's not too terrible, but we're equipped to handle it. There's a lot of people that aren't. Just make sure that you are prepared for this cold snap if you're in one of these areas that's not used to it. Guys, my boys just came home from work, so I was saying hello to them, and yeah, one of them's off again already and the other one's just chilling. So anyways, I'm trying to think what else went on this week. I kind of got sidetracked here. We talked about the prisoners being released. Oh, this is the last thing that I was going to talk to you guys about. And I think it's kind of silly. But everybody is completely losing their shit over TikTok. You tell me, is TikTok that big of a deal? I don't have a TikTok account. I have Facebook, Instagram, and an X account, which I'm never on because I can't even keep up with Facebook or Instagram. I do go on X every once in a while. I will try to like scroll through and see what's going on and whatever, but I can't keep up with all these social media accounts. So is TikTok this big of a deal? I know there's a lot of influencers that have made TikTok their job. And they're really upset about it. And, you know, I understand because I'm on YouTube. YouTube sends me a tiny little bit of money every month when I've earned it. And so I get it. These people have made a lot of money from TikTok. But I'm not personally ever going to have YouTube be my sole source of income because I understand that this could be taken away at any given moment. I mean, any job can be, but I feel like people are just going to have to find a new way to make money. And if they were creative enough to get on TikTok and make money, then they're going to be creative enough to find a new way to make money. I am interested if that's going to be reflected on like the jobs category, because technically if you make money from something like YouTube or TikTok, they send you a 1099, you have to report that. So is that considered a job? I don't know. We'll have to see. But people are losing their collective minds. And I think we have bigger things to worry about than if TikTok's canceled. That's just my opinion. Again, I don't have a TikTok account. I never did. At the beginning, I heard too much craziness about, you know, the China spyware bit, and I just never wanted bothered with it. Also, I kind of felt like it was very, and I'm sorry if anybody here is on TikTok, But I always just kind of thought it was more of an immature, like, teenager thing. And as a mature adult woman, I never really got into it. And this is crazy because this is like deja vu. I swear I've had this conversation before. That's pretty nuts. You guys, do you guys have deja vu from time to time? That's crazy. Anyway, that will totally sidetrack you, won't it? When those weird anomalies happen. Bizarre. Anyhow, yeah, so that's what's new in the news. We are going to have to really be careful next week with all these protests going on. I would not put it past something somewhere to get violent. And I do believe they're happening all over the country, not just in DC. So keep your head on a swivel, guys. Be ready to protect yourself if needed. Just be careful out there. Hopefully things will stay peaceful. You know, everybody has their right to express themselves. And let's just hope it's non-violent, right? Considering the potential sources of who might be protesting, we know the track record. Also, you know, let's just keep an eye on these Senate hearings for the cabinet, because that's pretty interesting. And again, you know, if there's somebody on the Republican side that bails, either they have an extremely good reason or they need to go too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the footage of the little goats. Just know you're going to be flooded with baby goat kids from here on out until they've grown and gone to new homes. We're so happy that everything worked out, and we are also very happy to finally be back in goat's milk, because you simply can't buy that quality at the store. It's just so much better. Team raw milk for the win. Anyways, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. Please stay warm. Please get ready for this cold weather, and all of you guys be safe out there. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.